She didn't ask for special treatment. She just wanted her seat, her files, and a quiet flight. But the flight attendant looked at her once and decided she didn't belong there. No smile, no courtesy, no apology when water spilled across her lap. Everyone watched, but no one said a word. She stayed silent too, until one quiet message turned the entire airline upside down. Bria Collins pressed her back gently into the cushioned seat of 3A in first class. She was 17, dressed simply but neatly in jeans and a navy coat, her small denim bag tucked under her seat. The plane hadn't taken off yet, and passengers were still boarding. Her hands stayed calmly folded over her lap, the edge of her boarding pass sticking out of her coat pocket like a reminder that this was all real. Bria had checked that ticket at least 5 times. Not because she thought it was fake, but because she couldn't quite believe it was hers. Just days before, she was cleaning up after drama club rehearsal, thinking she might have missed her shot at college due to a forgotten application deadline. Then the call came. A fully funded scholarship to attend a national music workshop in Seattle, travel included. The only detail, a printed ticket and a typed note that read, "Your talent deserves to be heard." The plane's interior gleamed with silver fixtures and crisp white linen. Bria tried not to stare at the elegant glassware or the folded napkins on her tray table. It all felt like a dream, temporary, borrowed, like something she'd need to give back soon. 2 rows up, a sharply dressed man in his early 50s argued on the phone. He wore an immaculate charcoal suit and an expensive watch. His voice carried down the aisle even though he wasn't shouting. When he ended the call with a tight sigh, his eyes swept the cabin and landed on Bria. He froze. She noticed. For a moment, she thought she might have something on her face and discreetly wiped her mouth with the back of her hand. But the man didn't look away. He walked toward her. His stare hardened. "This isn't your seat," he said quietly but firmly. Bria blinked. "Excuse me." He motioned to the seat, then to her bag. "This. All of it. Who sent you?" "I have a ticket," Bria said, confused. "You have no idea who I am, do you?" he asked, narrowing his eyes. "No, I don't," she replied evenly. At that moment, a flight attendant approached. She was tall, graceful, with her hair swept into a tight bun and a name tag that read Nina Shah. Her face was warm until she noticed the tension. "Is everything all right here?" Nina asked. The man leaned in. "She doesn't belong in this cabin. Check her ticket, please." Bria's heart sank. Passengers glanced over, subtly listening in while pretending to read or adjust their seats. Nina gave Bria a gentle smile. "Can I see your pass, sweetheart?" With a trembling hand, Bria handed it over. Nina examined it closely, then looked up. "It's valid. First class, seat 3A. Everything checks out." The man's jaw tensed. "Well, then it must be a mistake in the system." Bria lifted her chin. "Why are you so sure I don't belong here?" He said nothing, just leaned over and whispered something else to Nina. Her smile dropped. She looked again at the ticket, then at Bria, her warmth replaced with detached professionalism. "I need you to come with me," Nina said quietly. Bria swallowed hard. "Why?" "Just a quick verification." Bria stood, clutching her bag tightly, and followed Nina to the front. She didn't look back, but she could feel his stare. Heavy, familiar, like he'd seen a ghost. She had no idea what she had stepped into. They stopped near the galley. Nina disappeared behind the curtain for a moment to speak with someone. Bria strained to listen. Another voice, calm, older, joined in. A minute later, Nina returned. "Bria," she said gently, "how did you get this ticket?" "I didn't buy it myself. I received it through a scholarship program." Nina paused. "Was there a name on the note?" "No. Just a message. Your talent deserves to be heard." Nina glanced at the ticket again. "Do you know anyone named Malcolm Trenor?" Bria shook her head. "No." Just then, a white-haired man with kind eyes and captain stripes on his shoulders stepped forward. "I'm Captain Ronald Hayes," he said with a gentle authority. "May I have a word?" Bria nodded cautiously and followed him to a small jump seat near the front. She hugged her bag tight. "Mr. Trenor claims he knows you," Captain Hayes began. "Says you're connected to a past incident." "I've never seen him before in my life," Bria said firmly. "Are you sure?" he asked. "My name is Bria Nolan. This seat came from a scholarship." "That's it." The captain tilted his head. "Nolan." She nodded. His face shifted subtly. "There was a woman, Olivia Nolan. She worked as an aviation engineer about 20 years ago. Disappeared after a report she filed." Bria's chest tightened. "That's my mom." Captain Hayes went quiet. Then Nina returned and whispered something into his ear. He stood. Please wait here. Alone again, Bria stared ahead, breath shaky. Something bigger was at play. Something rooted in the name that man, Trenor, refused to say aloud. Moments later, he returned. But this time, not the captain. It was Malcolm Trenor. You're her daughter, he said softly, eyes wide. Bria stood. You knew my mom? His mouth tightened. I told her she was making a mistake. She filed a report about faulty altitude sensors. I warned her not to, but she submitted it. She disappeared shortly after. Bria felt the weight of his words. She was right, wasn't she? She cost me everything, he said bitterly. She saved lives, Bria replied. He stepped closer. Do you think sitting in 3A makes things even? I didn't choose this seat, she said. It came with the scholarship. He sneered. Then go sit somewhere else. Quietly. Before people start asking why a Nolan is flying up here. But then the curtain moved again. Captain Hayes reappeared. That's enough, Malcolm. She doesn't belong. Neither did Olivia, the captain cut in. But she was right. And you weren't. Malcolm Trenor didn't argue. He turned and left, his silence louder than his words. Bria returned to her seat, gripping her bag tightly. She pulled out a small black notebook tucked inside. Her mother's. She flipped to a page marked Jetline 212, fault pattern, above level 300. Notes. Sketches. Trenor's name. This wasn't a coincidence. Her mother had known, had documented everything. A flight attendant passed her a glass of water. I was there, Nina said quietly. The day your mom submitted her report. I was an intern. She was brave. Bria looked up, stunned. They made her vanish, Nina continued. But some of us remembered. Bria's throat tightened. She didn't speak. She couldn't. You scare him, Nina whispered. That's why he wanted you gone. Later in the flight, another attendant, Michael Greer, handed her an envelope. From the captain. Inside, look in seat 3C. Hidden beneath the cushion. Bria waited. Then carefully slipped into the seat, pulled back the lining, and found a slim folder wedged underneath. Inside, maintenance logs, signed approvals, technical reports. At the top, bold letters. Unauthorized system modifications, March 2004. The same time her mother had filed her report. The signature, Malcolm Trenor. This was the proof. As the plane landed, Bria kept the folder hidden beneath her coat. At baggage claim, she spotted an older man in a white jacket holding a gray folder. He met her eyes and nodded once. She approached. Are you Sam? Am I? He replied with a cryptic smile. She handed him the folder. I need to know you'll use this. He opened a photo of Olivia Nolan. She trusted me once. Now I'll honor that trust again. Bria nodded. Later, a voicemail rang through her phone. A man's voice. Miss Nolan, you don't know me, but I know what you've done. The folder was never meant to see daylight. Now that it has, the clock has started. There is no going back. The message ended. Bria turned toward the exit and kept walking. She didn't look back.